Testing, testing. Okay. Let me update the counters. That is one. Oh God. Hope that is not a predictor of my typing skills today. And this is 21. Okay, so pretty good progress. Let me turn on chat. So this week I've been working on, I've changed a lot of things in the game. Hopefully for the better. There's my chat. And yeah, basically the path is now branching. So that changes a whole lot of things. And the problem I have, oh well, it's not a problem, is it the challenge, the design challenge is to make the paths matter. So you get a choice. There are now 2 portals in every game, and you get to decide which one to follow. And it gives you clues as to what lies ahead. And right now, let me actually start the game to explain this. So that's all like it was before, but if I enter, I will now be on a segment that has 2 exits, and I have, so the first big change I did, apart from the portals, is that I removed the hunger. So there's no hunger anymore, but I replaced it with something else that works kind of similar, but is more fun. So as it ties into the story, you're on this journey, and I came to believe that this is basically just one day, so you wouldn't need to eat the whole time. That's just silly. And the hunger meter is just, if it's 0, you take damage. That's also pretty lame. So now you have to drink a special potion, or you will see hallucinations. So this is the elixir. That's the new potion, and that is one thing that's different from the between the branches. So there are branches with no elixirs, and there are branches with elixirs. So that's one choice. The other choice is if the branch has supplies, so potions, medicine, and currently arrows, but I will remove the arrows. I'll explain that maybe later. So those are the 2 big choices. So now this is basically starving, but with the hallucination. Let's call it a system. And all the entities now change tiles, so you have no idea what they are really, if you look at this. And yeah, that makes the game much harder. But if you drink the potion, it's back to normal. So I intend to add more layers to this. The more time you spend in the barrier, the more illusions can happen if you don't drink the elixir regularly. And so this is one portal. The other one should be around. And there's a symbol on the floor, a urn or vase, which tells me, okay, this path has supplies. If I go further into the segment, I'll encounter the second portal. 1 second while I try not to die, as usual. And yeah, this one has grass on it, so I know it leads into the coast. That has implications for the kinds of traps I find. And here's the sign for the elixir. So I know there's an elixir on this path. I have enough elixir but no potions, so let's take the other one. And yeah, those are the choices right now. They are not enough. So the third criteria will be the monsters. So they are in groups right now. When I made the world, I put some monsters in some locations, other monsters in other locations, and that turned out to be they turned out to divide pretty nicely into groups. So what I need is to tie the monsters to the weapons. So that means the chests will be gone, monsters will drop all the weapons. Different monsters will drop different types of weapons. For example, the kobolds will drop daggers, the robbers will drop spears, etc. And I will foreshadow which kind of a enemy group you'll encounter in the portal, because they thankfully all have an object associated with them. So the kobolds have the poles sticking in the ground, the robbers have the barrels, and the skeletons have the bones. So I can just place one of those at the portal and you'll know what you get. So and this of course wouldn't be enough either, because if you have, let's say you have a spear, it doesn't help you much to know that then this exit would have robbers and they would drop spears. So the enemies have to be strong or weak against a type of weapon, so that if you have a spear that's in pretty good condition, you will probably choose then the exit that has the easier enemies. And if you're running out of elixirs, if you don't have any left, but the choice would be to enter a segment where you have a bad weapon for, but only that segment has elixirs, then that's the tension that I want. So yeah, that's basically the task for today. That is further defining the enemy groups, that's the renaming part, and then tying the weapon drops to a group, and then giving them strengths or weaknesses against the weapons. And the strength and weakness, it could be, I mean, the easiest and most boring solution would be to just deal double damage or half damage to types of enemies, but that's too lame. So they will, so one step up from that would be that the super attacks with a spear, for example, let's say the smaller enemies are stronger against spears because they're faster. Let's say you want to hit a kobold with your spear attack and with the super attack, so 2 kobolds in a row, they would be, if they were strong against the spear, then that would just deal 0 damage. And that would invert what you can do with this spear, which would be much more fun. But I'll have to look into that. Right now, evidently, how's it going? Right now I'm just doing the weapon drops and the renaming. That's yeah, I'm running out of time. The update is tomorrow, and I need the weapon drops to be at least tied to the monsters, and then yeah, I'll make the path choice better in the coming weeks. But for now, that's the first step towards that. Yeah. So I have this list. It's right here. Those are the enemies, the enemy groups. So there's a group camp, hideout, nest, crypt, group for the dead, group for the wild things, and then forest and coast. So let's clean that up first, and actually let's make a copy. Before I screw this all up. Okay. Wish I was not working so I could chat more. At least I can listen in. That's fine, Lily. My coworker hasn't shown up. I think I'm cooked. Supposed to go home. Oh, that's bad. Maybe they're sitting in traffic. Okay, let's clean this up. All the duplicates, those are just so that one of them spawns more. Skeleton, archer, and bat. So you can see they don't mesh 100%. Let's make this a mammoth. And those vine, oh god, what was it? Root, tree or something. And that was I tried this once, but okay, this first one is pretty easy. That will be goblin and troll. Then I have robber. That's also pretty easy. That's hound, so they'll get a dog and a brute, or I mean maybe a chieftain. Not sure, but silly to have 20 chiefs running around. And that is hatchling, spider, or maybe actually cocoon, hatchling, spider. Another constraint is that I want this to be small, medium, and large. Works for the first two. What was the spider? The large spider. So this doesn't work. This is cocoon. slash hatchling. Spider and then tarantula maybe. That also doesn't make much sense, but it's my Friday, so my coworker is the only thing keeping me from my blissful creativity-filled weekend. Yeah, I hope they show up. So let's make this a bat, skeleton, and archer. This is a larvae, undead, and ghoul, probably. Wolf, bear, mammoth, that sounds good. Vine, root, and tree. So these are the defaults. If there's no group assigned. But I'm not sure if I need them. Well, I need the crab, of course. But the crab is a trap, so that's actually gone. And this can also be jackal, wolf, and bear. Yeah. So what's the coast? Oh yeah, there was a squid in there. Octopus. So maybe the crab. Then the octopus. And then... Maybe octopus is the largest. And maybe let's make this a mushroom, vine, tree, crab. So my Friday, I just want to just go home since I'm being given work. Of course, if I finally track him down, he tells me to wait while he checks if there's anything to do. That's the worst. Coast, crab, maybe flea, crab, octopus. That's not bad. Let's look at the letters. I mean, they're not that... not that critical because they won't mix for now. Actually, mushroom is more of a trap. So this is not a normal tree, this is a walking tree. What is the wild? I don't think I have the wild thing. So this could be just the forest. And then let's make this a rat. Actually, yeah, the undead have rats. But the jackal is the odd one out. So rat lands there, lava stays here. Let's see what's not in here anymore. So the jackal is out. Necro. Snake. Well, I could add the snake somewhere here. Maybe in the coast actually. Snake. The raptor is out. That's a bit sad. Centipede is also out. Or do I keep the centipede in the spider nests? Always thought that was not that great. Mammoth is also out. Robert bad. Okay. New updates tomorrow? Yeah. If nothing goes horribly wrong, then the update is tomorrow. I haven't played any serious updates in a few, so I'll probably play tomorrow if it's going to be a decent change. It's going to be a change, yeah. Going to be quite the change. So those are up for grabs. What's new is the goblin, hound, the brute, the tarantula, larva, and the rat and the octopus. So that means 2 new enemies. That's fine. And the rest I'll rename. Yeah, the jackal will become a hound. That's pretty easy. The necro will become something. Raptor. The raptor doesn't have any special abilities, I think. So that can become anything. Centipede divides. So that will be the octopus. The mammoth. I think the mammoth has the punch as well. No, it has trample. Oh, it moves stuff. Let's make that the tarantula. Necro the brute, Raptor the goblin, and then we still need what do we need? Larvae, rat. Yeah, that's it. Let's look at the letters again for a second. So I mean, I have spider, skeleton, and snake already. Well, snake is a V right now. So those are all small. They will become lowercase letters. And the cocoon is kind of weird in that it's a sprite. Maybe let's make this not tarantula, but a giant spider. Well, that's also bad. Maybe colossus. Also bad. But would be a C, just like the centipede was. Yeah, I think that's fine. So let's first rename them. Jackal, Hound. Necro is brute. Centipede, octopus. Mammoth is a tarantula. Nothing much happened. I'm just renaming stuff. And yeah, let's add the 2 new ones. Larvae and rat. Let's do the same thing again. Hound. Gray. Changing sprites for some stuff renamed. Everything is still line up. I'm just changing the letters. So these are the letters that define the look of the enemy. So that's pretty easy changing that. Okay, that was the Jackal, Necro. This is the Brute, and that is... No, I should... Let's sort them by sizes later. And that goes with the Robber. same color. Brute. Towering. It's enough. And then Raptor. It's now a goblin. Goes to those. Clever. Well, it's not clever. Cunning. I have cunning. Nope. I think that's okay. So the goblins also sleep. Maybe they also flee. Okay. Then the centipede. It's a bit harsh. Ocean creature thing on land. Okay. Mammoth. That's tarantula. How do I call this colossus? Giant spider. Yeah, that's maybe better. So this goes to these spiders. That's purple. Let's sort this. So cobalt, those are sorted like this. Hound. Hound robber brute. Cocoon spider. Colossus. Bat the skeleton. Archer. Well, it doesn't really make sense. The archer would be large. Maybe I need a third one for this. Okay, I need a larvae. And a rat. Wait, where did the snake go? So snake, crab, octopus, and the wrigglers, and the bear, wolf bear, and then the rat. Larvae. And that would be it. So let's add the rat. Rat is pretty stupid, I would say. So let's make it like the hatchling. Lowercase. Brown, or maybe, well, brown is has more character. Scrumming. Fast and hiding in living under huts. Probably. Okay, larvae, same. That's, well, L is already taken. Do I have the lizard right now? Used anywhere? Yeah. I can take it out. I'll probably do that. So actually, let's keep the lizard on the coast. Instead of... Where am I? Snake, crab. Well, maybe let's lose the rat. Yeah. Snake. Lizard. Yeah. That's much better. And then the rat can replace the larvae, actually. Yeah. That's much better. So snake will go to the wolves. And the lizard goes to the coast. Yeah. And lizard is not an animal anymore then. Sunbathing. That doesn't sound very aggressive. Okay. Do I leave this green? No, let's give them also a brownish color. Let me see. This is then red. So what do I do with the deer? That's just the odd one out right now. Sharp-toothed? Oh. Thanks. Thank you very much. Or maybe raise... don't need a hyphen. That's okay. So lizard and crab are now enemies. And the deer, I'll just remove that one for now. Okay, let's look at the sizes. Cobalt gets a small K. Hound. Hatchling already has it. Small B. Lizard. Crab gets a large C. Let me go home, Max. Okay, let's move this. So there. Okay, let's set the sizes. Oh, bat is, yeah, the bat is very large. Maybe actually while we're here, we should rename the zombie to undead. And give it a U. Okay. I've been going back and forth with this one for ages, but let's try the other version. So now the damage numbers. So this one is, first one is health, yeah. So these two numbers here, first one is health, and that's just a scalar. Float number, 1 is the default. So the troll just has more health. The hound has, maybe should have half health. Let's try that. Let's give these small enemies 1/2, and the bigger ones 2 times the normal health, and leave the damage alone. Oh god, come on. 1, 2, 0.5. Oh well, actually, yeah, Cardo, I think I'm leaving. God is here. That's awesome. I actually think I can't do half health because of math. But that's okay. 2. Why does the crab do twice the amount of damage? Does make sense. The crab doesn't attack. Okay. Good. So I created a mess that I will have to clean up. But this is pretty cool. Let's not clean up the mess, but let's work on this some more. So The whole goal of this is that I can tie weapons to these groups. So there's a drop, there's a weak, and there's a strong. So the kobolds, they drop daggers. That's pretty easy. The robbers, probably spears, or could drop axes. Could actually drop anything. Spiders drop nothing. Skeleton, they drop probably axe and bow. Undead drop probably, not sure. I only get to hear one syllable every 15 seconds. It's not a good average to understand. But also, yeah, I'm kind of just rambling. But so maybe they drop nothing, they drop nothing, and they drop nothing. So that would be probably it. Maybe they should drop 2 out of the 3. I heard most of that sentence, so that's good. The undead should definitely drop something. I'm only allowed to hear when you respond to me. I'll reconnect to Wi-Fi soon. I'll be fine. Okay, let's say you have no weapons. But you know that one exit has skeletons. So you know you'll get an axe there. Okay, I think this is not enough information. We'll need the weak and strong modifier. So what are kobolds weak against? Let's say spear. What are the robbers weak against? Probably the axe. Are spiders weak against? No idea. Skeleton is also the axe. The undead. Probably the dagger. A spear. Dagger. Spear. I should probably have one that's one that doesn't care. It's neutral. Probably the undead. Well, could also be those two. Well, octopus is too cool. We have no weakness there. But the thing is, so the nest. So these are animals. Those are humanoids. Well, except for the rat and the bat. They drop nothing, so they maybe should be weak to nothing. Doesn't sound good. So if you stand at the portal, you would want to choose the one that you're strong against. So if I have a spear, I would want kobolds. But that's not easy to remember. If I say, if I divide this, well, actually, I just need 3 markers. So if I say the spear is strong against non-mammals, then that's easy to remember. And if I say the axe is strong against undead, and that's also easy. And then humans and kobolds, they're weak against the dagger. Pretty much it. Snake, wolf, bear, none. They're just the odd one out. Or I could also say spear. And that's not non-mammals, but animals. That's even easier. Well, but I have the rat, the bat and the red, the bat and the rat. But that's okay, they could be undead. So this works pretty well. But how do I indicate the path correctly? So this one is barrel. This one is pole. This one is bones. This one I think I don't have. Or maybe a corpse. Web. This is crab, octopus. Uh, that I could just indicate this was with sand and grass. Try grass and bushes. That would be it. Actually, I would just need those three. One of those three. So it might actually be bad to have multiples here. So this is also bones, and this is... Well, let's take the pole. Here. None. Okay, this is coming together. Can hear again, yay. That's awesome. Gotta work now though, so I can't chat as much. That's fine. Hey Hister, do you upload or plan to upload somewhere all the code and VODs from your stream somewhere? I have the VODs on YouTube, but the code is private. So it's not open source. But all the VODs are on YouTube. Okay, so I have the weaknesses. And actually I can just make them do double damage for tomorrow. That's much more satisfying. Then yeah, I think that's fine for tomorrow. You're welcome, yes sir. So these are all three now. This is actually the group table. So the game uses this groups table to spawn enemies. So now let me think about the dropping. This can go. Yeah, I haven't thought that through, have I? So if I remove the chests from the game, where you get all the weapons from, they have to come from somewhere else. And if only those 3 drop weapons. Actually, that may be okay. That may actually be okay. Shield. And then if I have a 3rd offhand, I'll give it to the kobolds. Okay, let's do that next. The item. So I have this loot function that determines the drop. Okay, skeleton archer cannot drop stuff because they drop skull. So that's bad. Also, they shouldn't drop the thing they are weak against. So let's move this to axe and bow. They drop nothing. And actually, let's make them all drop the offhands. So we have, let's move them down. We have the undead that drop not the axes, weak against dagger. Yeah, that has to be. And then they drop only spears. I mean, I could also say I'll remove the skull mechanic. But that's pretty lame. So kobolds cannot drop a dagger. So the undead have to drop the dagger. And then a spear, axe. That's actually pretty cool. Because if you have a dagger and you want a spear, then it's pretty easy. Because the mobs that drop it are weak against the dagger. Okay. Let's look at this. Thinking about, so I turned all the food into instant heals. So if you find a piece of meat on the floor, you'll now, if you try to pick it up, it gets eaten immediately, and you'll get a bit of health back, but not much. So the idea could be that all these small enemies drop food. Only the two larger ones drop weapons. That's bad. That's probably not a good idea. But those don't drop anything. So the bat, the lizard, and the snake, they can drop meat. I mean, if I find out that this doesn't work while testing, then I'll think of something else. Vase and basket. Okay, mammoth and bear. Well, actually, maybe all of these animals should drop meat. Yeah. But not the cocoon. Cocoon drops a hatchling. Lizard, crab, octopus, snake, wolf, bear. Yeah, I said they are undead. But the bat and the rat. Where was the wolf? Okay, they're dropping coins here. Let's remove them from that. Okay. And let's look at kobold. Goblin and troll. They drop the spear and the offhand. So Let's look at the chest. Shield and bow. Let's keep it simple. If let's use the same drop chance. Spear. And let's use that again for shield or bow. Yeah. That should work. So then I have the hound. Actually, let's put them beneath. Rubber. And root. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And they drop the axe. Well, the red maybe it doesn't drop a dagger. I mean, it could. Why not? Undead. Cool. And they drop the dagger. Well, a red can't drop a shield, so. Or a bow. So those are the drops. Let's look at the weakness. So I have this fight. And I'll just say if the defender is weak against the attacker, double the damage. And then I'll say static and weak. And I only need the object indices. Returns 1 if... Oh, this is bad. Where is it here? Defender, attacker. If A is weak against attack by... Actually, this doesn't work at all. I need the weapon type. So this only works when the hero attacks. So Okay, damage is applied here. So I'll need to check if the attacker is the hero. And if the defender is weak against the hero's weapon, but it's also bad. Weapon weak, maybe. Let's try that. So I get the object and nothing else. Turns 1 if object index is weak against against hero's weapon. So I need to get the weapon. Let me look at the rendering code for that. Weapon. Bag. So it's so I don't want to check each single enemy against each weapon. So I'll probably have to introduce a tag. Flags. Object flags, please. Tile flag, object flags. Why is there this split? Anyways. This is ugly. So let's do the flags first. Path. So kobolds, goblins, and trolls are weak against the dagger, as are those three. And then we have the undead. They are weak against the axe. Okay. And then the rest is weak against the spear. And those two. Okay. So then in the function, I can switch on the hero web. So actually, first of all, if the hero weapon, that's a bag weapon, if that's null, turn 0. If bag, actually switch weapon object index. So if it's a dagger, axe, or spear, return. I need actually the object flags. So let's just put in struct entity e, return e flags and weak dagger. It's not 0. Weak axe, weak spear, turn 0. That should be it. Yeah, all I need to do now is fixing all these handles. So that's sound. So centipede is now what? I need to remember the sounds, because I may have to create new ones. Cobalt, goblin, troll, jackal. That's now the hound. Brute, robber. So I would love to add a different set of voices for the brute, but I'm running out of time. So the centipede is now the colossus. Snake wolf bear, bat. I think bat was already in there. Rat. I can go in there. Lizard also. Octopus also. So this is actually It's crazy. This one sound, this hissing sound, can be the placeholder for a whole lot of sounds, creatures. It's pretty funny. Okay. Undeclared goblin. Kidding me. Did I not change those? What? Okay, bad robber, tarantula, colossus. Raptor is goblin, maybe. Okay, sound, raptor. Could I? Well, that's sad. I mean, necro, mammoth. Okay. Okay, these are the pacifying charms. They are not in the game. Only spawn animals once. There can go. Damn it. Okay, that's entities. Damage color. Do I need to adjust this? Oh, okay. That's the default return color for damage, which is basically the blood splat enemies leave behind. Its default is red. So I have to change this. So I have to make exceptions. Yeah. What is this? Okay. Not getting stuck in webs. Incompatible. That makes sense. Weapon weak. Yeah, that's the whole entity. And then centipede. Okay, that's actually that's octopus. Okay, let's clean up my comments. Deer. Crab. Deer is gone. Ghoul. CD. Goblin. Why is the bat? Oh, because it's lowercase. This is the codex. The order of things. Okay, raptor's also gone. Well, actually, I'll have to order this. Anyways. Okay, tell me what it is, please. Oh, God. Mammoth. That became what? Some of those others. Okay. Hound. Goblin. This has a default here, so that's not. Actually, I can remove all of these. Let's see. Yeah, that's still all in. Oh, sting. Okay, we are now in edit. What? Sound table. Okay. Losses. Hound. Goblin. Fruit. What was the other? Necro. Jesus. Let me alone, T-Max. Let's just remove that. Okay. Let's see the game crash when I started. Actually, that's restart. Okay, it works. Cobalt has a lower K. That's pretty cool. Didn't drop anything, but didn't tell it to drop something every time. Why didn't that troll wake up? Yeah, the trolls are asleep. But that's probably just a flag that I said wrong. Okay. Where's the other portal? There it is. Mm. So yeah, I'll have to limit the spawning to one group. I thought I had that, but apparently not. What's the brute doing? I mean, at least they're dropping. They should be. Yeah, I'll have to look at the flags again. Okay, but this is a progress. So for the rest of the day, I will tweak this. And hopefully I'll get it into a state that's fun. And yeah, then I'll release it tomorrow and hopefully get feedback for the next week. The new systems and adjust them. Yeah. Alright, so that's it from me for today, guys. I will be probably not streaming tomorrow because I'll be busy with the update, but I'll be back on Saturday on stream and in Discord, of course. Alright. Have a good day. Thanks, you too. I will see you Yeah, talk to you later in Discord. Yeah. I will see you next time, guys. Bye bye.